You ever heard that old phrase, things just go from bad to worse? That's exactly what happened. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on this week's episode of Titans titled Throwback Water or something like that. I can't remember. All I just know is episode 10. And wow. I mean, okay, first off, Jason, we thought he might have been going back to him, but Crane messed all that up to the point where Jason, I think it's pretty clear, he's just pretty much given up on himself with trying to make amends. That he's thinking that things have gone way too far now that there's no going back. So just be like, fuck it. I'll just keep following Crane, just do all this other shit. Be full on Red Hood, be a jackass, be a criminal, and just try to pretend to make the city like me and stuff. And so far, the only one who still hasn't given up on her, I mean, not her, I mean, Jason, is Molly. Can I also say the Titans? Well, in this episode, we really can't say for certain because they didn't really express any of that because they were too busy handling other stuff, thanks to Crane and Jason setting them up and turning the entire city against them. And don't worry, we'll get into more detail in that on later on. But the only one I would like to think that maybe still hasn't given up on him is Beast Boy. And maybe now that he's with an old friend of his, maybe they might find a way to help him out, if at all possible. But even still, though, the way this episode was going, it just had me at the edge of my seat, made me breathing hard and being like, "Oh, how could it have come to this? How could it have gone so wrong?" Oh my God. I mean, they really are going to need all the help they can get now. I mean, we know Tim Drake is alive now, but what's his next step? Let me hope that his detective skills can somehow find a way to get the Titans out of the mess they're in now, especially after what Scarecrow, mostly him, but now you can put Jason in since he's just following them out of randomness. Since, like I said, he's given up on himself. And that is in the fact that after Scarecrow had released the fear talks that he had planned for into the water supplies of Gotham City, Gotham City has pretty much become exactly what it was when the Alice Tech virus and the TV series of Gotham did to them, or in the same thing that happened in Gotham Begins. It's in the water supply. It's making some people in Gotham who take it go nuts that they're killing people, some people that are their families and everything like that. And they don't know who did it, and Scarecrow uses that to his advantage to put out a fake video out there when Gotham's at its most vulnerable to put it blame all on Nightwing and the Titans that the entire citizens have turned against them. And there's even a bounty on Nightwing, a $50,000 bounty. Yes, that's how bad things have gotten. And I'm just like, holy shit, how could damn. I mean, okay, here I thought after he was exposed back in episode 6 or 7, that he went running like scared and stuff and he was vulnerable. But obviously, he had enough time, or he had a backup plan all the time. And man, was that backup plan really great. And I say that, and I say that as in, hey, this is superheroes versus villains, and each side's got a strategy, and you can't really deny when they get the better of you. That's just how it can be sometimes. But even still, though, the way he did it, the way he had this all planned out so calmly, just man. Yeah, guys, I'm speechless as it were, especially with after in the end when everything else went bad for the Titans, such as the fact that Nightwing felt that with the city the way it is now, it's better that the Titans and Nightwing turn themselves in, and then later on use their other abilities to get themselves bailed out and start working from the shadows to earn the people's trust back in the night of day. In other words, not working with GCPD, not being public or anything, just being in the shadows, just like Batman would and stuff. And the plan might have worked had not Jason Todd as Red Hood bribed the cops into fighting them to make it look like they really are against them and that the Titans really are the bad guys, because that's where it led into the scene of the Titans taking on the GCPD, who were bribed, as I said, by Red Hood to attack the Titans to make it look like they really are the villains. And man, did the plan work, because in the end of this episode, Gotham is still in a mad mess. It's still gone crazy, and people have just given up on the Titans completely. That the bounties that are on them that says dead or alive, citizens are crossing out the alive and say they only want them dead. Oh. And the worst of it all, Crane has now made Bruce Wayne's mansion, Wayne Manor, his place now. And what makes it even worse to show is that Red Hood, okay, first off, he still cares for Batman. He still has conflicting feelings, but not enough to make him do the thing I could not believe he did. As Crane made him say that to fix Wayne Manor and make it their own, they need to take down the portrait of him and his parents. And he gave Jason Todd a blade to destroy it, and a hesitation at first, but
I'm proud of you, son.
Yeah, he went through with it. Now, is this me saying I've given up on Jason? No, I still believe there's a chance he can get back from this. But is this also me saying that he'll eventually go back to the Titans? No, because here's the thing. Jason and the Titans, his way of things and the personalities, and they just don't fit with them. And he just needs to go off on his own, do his own thing. And as I said, the only one who hasn't given up on him is Molly, who in this episode gave him a call. She tried to convince Jason to leave with him from Gotham, go somewhere and stuff. And she just wants to help him. She's scared for him. And she just wants to be there for him. She wants to help him because she knows that he shouldn't give up on himself, even when he is. So I'm still believing that, yes, Molly can be that key. First off, does Grayson even know about Molly? Has Gar even told Grayson about Molly's connection with Jason? Because I'm guessing not, because if so, he would have already gone to her and they would have both found a way to finally help him. I really don't know. But besides all that, there's still other stuff we got to go through. That was just the main thing to talk about there. And also, you know what? Never mind. That's for something else. Let's go into the other stuff, such as in the fact that Blackfire seems to really be showing the whole long game plan. Because, like I said, ever since she looked like she was now a member of the Titans, it was going to be helping them out. I was thinking it's all a deception. And right now, while I can't confirm it, while it's not necessarily confirmed, it looks like the deception is finally coming unglued. Because here's the thing, when they were fighting the GCPD, she was shot, and then Starfire took her to a church where she tried to heal her, but in doing so, Blackfire ended up taking away Starfire's abilities. And yeah, that was enough to make Starfire get skeptical and wonder, was this her plan all along? Blackfire's denying it, and it's hard to say whether she's telling the truth or not. But one thing's for certain, she's going back to that spot of saying, Corey, you're a queen. Why will you waste your time being a soldier for these people, for the Titans, when in reality, she says they're not soldiers, they're not an army, they're a family. Which I must say, first off, I love the fact that they've been doing that with the Titans. Sure, at first they looked like they were making them stay split up and not be a team, but as the other episodes have shown, no, it was just all a long-term story thing, and it still shows they're a team. They stick together, and they stuck together all throughout this episode. So I am very glad that finally the producers behind the scenes are finally getting what the Titans are about. They're family. They stick together no matter what. Sure, right now they're split up, but they'll find their way back to each other very soon. Two of them have already found their way back to each other. That being Racheal, who has made it to Gotham and has found Beast Boy. And I'm hoping, and here's the thing, she found him by following his energy from GCPD to wherever it is he was before she found him and took him somewhere to heal when he got tranquilized while fighting the GCPD. And here's where she's going to be picked up on everything. And this is where I want to hope that maybe she can get through to Jason, use her powers to help him realize the error of his ways, that eventually he'll see it and try to fix things and then go off on his own. But I also would like to hope that she can do what none of the Titans have ever really done yet. And that's none of them ever apologize to Jason for what they did back in season 2, especially Racheal. She's the one who falsely accused him of pulling those pranks on them in Titan Towers when there was no significant proof, and when it was finally proven it was Deathstroke. No one ever apologized to him. And then it actually reminds me of the fact that how Barbara once said that she loved Jason. But here's the thing, did she ever say that to him? Because that's the one problem with these Titans that they should have ever figured out about Jason. They should have said something like this to him, that maybe he wouldn't be in this position he's in and stuff. But then again, he probably still would have been, because he's Jason. He's a very impulsive kid who just doesn't try to get it because he's just too much in his own fear or in his own world or his own self-absorbedness and stuff. But either way, with Racheal back, I'm hoping this can help make things better going forward. But now, having said all that, we can now go into this plot B storyline that's we were given, that's about Donna Troy, that I think is all leading up to something that'll be connected with the season finale. In other words, the story that's going on with Donna Troy as she slowly at the end of the finally made her way into Gotham after getting a little interrogation with the military people who put Gotham on lockdown and stuff, and is the fact that as she was going there, she was met by Lydia, the person who was in the last episode with Raven trying to help resurrect her, as she put her through a test to see if anything about Donna Troy had changed, because she believes that when someone's resurrected, they come back different and stuff. And while nothing necessarily seems to be different with Donna Troy, at least for what it was shown during that test at the end of the episode, with how she was shot by a taser but wasn't affected by it this time. For the record, though, taser not as much electrocution as that fair carnival thing. And in the fact that she crushed those military weapons makes me think, yeah, there might be a little more aggression to her this time. But maybe I'm just overthinking it. But even still, I still would like to believe there is something that happened with her being resurrected again. And maybe we'll see it continue as we go forward in this. But one of the things that I was really touched about throughout this dark episode is that Donna Troy at first was thinking Lydia didn't like her because she's half human. But in truth, Lydia does like her. She loves her. Lydia loves her like her own daughter, Angela, who sadly passed away, and now she just doesn't want the same thing happen to Donna Troy again, or she couldn't go through with that. And she's hoping that everything will work out differently this time. Learn what happened from your last experience before you die, take it with you to become something better so you won't have to be in that position again. Is basically what I got throughout that entire plot. See, that was the B plot. Wasn't really that much focus, so we can't really get into that as much as I want to. But I do know this, guys. With the way things are, the Titans are now enemy number one in Gotham City, and Gotham City has still got that fear toxin running all over the place. And from what it looks like, Crane is going to make Red Hood be the savior of that city, and he looked at as the hero and stuff. I can't help but think somehow this is where Bruce will come in and try to maybe fix things even more, if not make things worse. Because let's face it, some of the source material of Jason's problem is Bruce, not just Nightwing that he feels inferior to and feels that Nightwing's superior to him, and he's been working his way out to try to prove himself better all this time, which he really shouldn't have. But either way, all I know is this episode really got me hooked into seeing how is this going to be fixed, especially with other stuff such as Barbara being arrested. I want to go into that, but I think I've rambled on enough here, guys. And hey, if you enjoy my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out. Bye!